I would like to acknowledge that this video is being filmed on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander or First Nations people who may be watching this video today. Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome to my August TBR. We're going to just keep trying to do these TBRs even though we know that I'm probably not going to stick to them. I'm considering these a framework for planning some of my reading each month. And then of course someone always comes out with a readathon and I'm like, I've got to completely change what I was thinking of reading. But that's okay, we're just going to go with it. I'm actually feeling a little bit better about this particular TBR, to be honest. There is one readathon in here that I've already selected books for. Most things are sort of either read-alongs or things that are coming out or review copies, which I'm good with. So we're going to jump straight into this and we're going to start with the review copies that I have. I actually have 8 things that are coming out in October that I've received copies for. The majority of these are unsolicited. I'll let you know which ones I requested for myself. So starting off with a junior/middle grade-ish title, I have How to Make a Pet Monster Smidgen by Lili Wilkinson. This one I did not request, but I did receive a copy of it and I'm very, very happy to read it because I love Lili Wilkinson's work. So this one was sent unsolicited. This comes out on the 2nd of August. I also received Enola Holmes and the Elegant Escape by Nancy Springer. Again, this is coming out on the 2nd of August. I should probably read this one. I was sent this unsolicited. I think I might actually pick this one up and just read one to see what I think. I also got another Anh Doh book, which is E-Boy. This is book 4, Rewired and Dangerous. So I actually haven't read any of the E-Boy series, so I'm looking forward to giving it a shot. Alan and Unwin seem to be sending me a lot of Anh Doh books at the moment, which honestly I'm not complaining about. My kids love them, and the ones that are too old for my kids I'm donating to my school's library after I've read them anyway. And then on the 16th of August there are another 3 books that I have that are coming out. No, maybe 4 books. So there is Dark Rooms by Lynda Plante, which is a crime thriller book. Again, this was sent to me unsolicited, but I might read it. I haven't read a crime thriller in a while. Another Anh Doh book. This is The Rise of the Mythix, book 5, The Last Gladiator. So I think I talked about in my most recent kids reading vlog, one of the other series that I was reading, Wolf Girl, did feature the characters from the Mythix, which I have read a handful of these, so I'm going to be clearly diving back into it. I also have Flipper and Finnegan, The True Story of How Tiny Jumpers Saved Little Penguins. This is by Sophie Cunningham. I will have a standalone review for this. I had requested this and then they asked if I would do a standalone video review and I said yes that I would. So you'll hear more about this one a little bit later on. I'm very, very excited about this one, so I can't wait to talk about it. And then on the 30th of August, there are 2 more books. There is The House on Pleasant Street by Sophie Laguna and illustrated by Mark McBride. I requested this one mostly because the illustrations are so strange and weird, and I think this is just going to be a wacky little picture book. And also Rites of Passage, Words to Read Before You Turn 13. So these are all collections of quotes and poems and stories that have been selected by Nicolette Jones. It's a really beautiful little book and I thought this one would be fun to read. I love collections like this. Then in terms of read-alongs and projects with friends, I am hopefully going to pick up The Gravity of Us by Brittainy Cherry. This is one of the travelling books that Brie had organised, so I would like to get to it this month and send it on to the next person. Brie and I will hopefully, fingers crossed, be reading, well actually no, it's not a hopefully, we definitely will be reading Husband Material by Alexis Hall. We're also hoping to reread Boyfriend Material hopefully before the end of July. I am filming this a little bit before the end of July, so we're hopefully going to read that as well before Husband Material comes out. Just, I wanted to refresh my memory and Brie said she was happy to reread it with me. Also hoping to, fingers crossed, read Ruby Fever at the end of the month. So that will be the last live show in the Hidden Legacies series for the next little while. So that is coming out. Very excited. 2 other new releases that I'm really looking forward to. These are not buddy reads. They're just new releases on my radar. There is Lunatic by Onley James, which is the next book in the Necessary Evil series. And I am hanging out for this book. So excited. And also Cobalt Blue by Matthew Reilly. Matthew Reilly writes fast-paced action thriller adventure stories, which brings me into the readathon that I have set a TBR for. I'm going to be participating in the Ping Pongathon round 2 hosted by Krystal from Bond Book Reviews. So if you don't know Krystal, I'll leave her channel link down below. She has a series of videos on her channel every month where she picks her TBR using a game of ping pong, and she's turned it into a readathon. This is the 2nd round of it. I didn't participate in the first one, but essentially you can play it the way that she plays her game, or you can use a random number generator and use the same prompts that she has, which is how I played. I just don't have room to set up the game. So I ended up picking 5 books and I set myself the challenge of picking Australian, preferably Australian romance authors, and the reason I'm doing this is I am trying to up my quota of Australian romance authors so that I can recommend more of them to you guys and be a bit more aware of that. So I figured this was a good way to try and do that, and luckily the spinner wheel that I used was very kind to me and actually helped out with that. So I used a spinner wheel and got my numbers that way. So their numbers were between 1 and 72. I think my spinner wheel was 75, but I actually didn't get anywhere near 75. I did record my spins for you, so I'm going to put them on the screen, starting with spin number 1. So spin number 1 had a 2. The prompt for this one was to read a book in a finished series. I'm actually going to go with the Love in the Mountains series by Suzanne Cass. This is a novella series, so I think the actual 3 novellas in total are not very long. I think they're even less than a standard size novel. So I'm going to try and read all 3 of them. But the 3 novellas include Rain on a Tin Roof, Lost and Found, and Rescue His Heart. So this will be the first time I try Suzanne Cass, and I'm very excited about that. All right, roll number 2. Okay, roll number 2 was 34. This was to read a male author. And I have Tigers and Devils by Sean Kennedy, which is a sports romance, I believe. I think it is AFL, which came about because Megan was asking me about Australian sports romances. So I'm going to try this one and let you guys know what I think of it. Roll number 3. So roll number 3 was 39. This was a book that you have low expectations for. I'm not taking this to be a bad thing. I'm just going to take it in I know nothing about the book, so I don't really have any expectations about what it's going to be like. And for this one, I've gone with Diving into Trouble by Shona Husk. I have actually read a couple of Shona Husk books. I've kind of been hit or miss with them. Some of them I've liked, some of them have just been okay, so I guess this counts as a low expectation. This is a contemporary romance though, so I'm looking forward to trying it. Roll number 4. So roll number 4 was 17. This is dystopian. For this one, I'm actually going to go with a review copy that I received, Come Hunting by Elena Island. So I was actually approached by a friend of Elena's who asked if I would be interested in reviewing it because it was a new release book. Her friend had been writing it during COVID, and I'm very excited to pick this one up and see what I think of it, and I'm pretty sure it is dystopian. I think it could possibly be new adult, but that's okay. We're going to try it anyway. And I'm very excited to support a new author, so I'm looking forward to this one. And then my final roll. So I got 14. This is to read a book with an even page number. And for this one, I'm going to read Here for the Right Reasons by Jodi McAllister, which is a recent release. Jodi McAllister, well, the books that I've previously read by Jodi McAllister have been her young adult paranormal series, but I am very familiar with her. I've met her a couple of times and she's hilarious. I follow her on TikTok and she does some great videos. But this is her most recent release. I believe this is set in a reality TV show, like dating style show, and it's an adult contemporary romance. So I thought that would be really fun to read and see what it's like. Alright, so that is my beginning TBR for August. There'll be other things that I read on here because there always is. In the comments, I'd love to know what you are planning on reading in August. Have you read any of the books that I've read? I mean, feel free to suggest any other things to me. I mean, I'm always picking up new books all the time. If you want to let me know that you're here but you don't want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a book stack emoji down below. Otherwise, I hope that wherever you're in the world, you're doing safe and well, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.